Mr. Finkelstein, I'm going to turn to you. I'm familiar with a lot of the work that you've done, and some of the work that you've done that is the most impressive relates to anti-Semitism and how anti-Semitic tropes are spread on social media and how misinformation is fed from social media and then amplified to the extent that it comes out in the real world. Can you give us some examples of that?
I wouldn't even know where to start. I think that the problem has become so prolific. And look, I think that there are historical reasons that's true. I think that there's a way in which anti-Semitism, the hatred of Jews is a fairly high octane hate. It's very, very powerful. And it has 1,000-year history or 3,000-year history or whatever to draw upon in order to inform critics and people who are looking for something to blame. Now, one of the things that we discussed earlier is that in the current information environment, it's so complex that the people who win are the ones who are most successful at playing the blame game. And when that happens, the groups that have historically been best at receiving that blame end up being highlighted. So it's not different than other forms of hate. It's just far more elaborate, robust, and systemic. I think that a lot of what we're seeing now is unusual, and there's an anomalous rise in anti-Semitism. This has been drafted deliberately. There have been efforts going back to the Soviet Union and to others to agitate for a blood libel in the United Nations and other places to accuse Israel of genocide, to say that what's happening in Israel amounts to grotesque violations of human rights that don't occur elsewhere and that are unique to the Jewish people and to Israel, to one and only one nation. So the way that that's been amplified across college campuses in the face of recent aggressions in Israel has led to spill out that definitely we know that these signals start online and they forward predict anti-Semitism, right? So it's not just that the systems exist in and of themselves. We know that where we see the strengthening of these blood libels and of the highly high velocity political language, that is where the geographic signature of that language will predict where anti-Semitic attacks take place. The temporal signature of that information will predict when they take place, and not the other way around. So we know that the social media signal is carrying something that is potentially instructive. Okay, that's what's important to understand about this dynamic. It's highly manufactured by enemy nations. It's perfect for creating blame and uncertainty in already fraught societies. And so the result is we see that being pushed on very deliberatively by the CCP, very deliberatively by enemies of democracy, because they know it's going to be successful.